Hey, let's welcome to the Resource Hour Dr. David Klein of the Stages of Life Institute. And one of the things that we treasure so much is our eyesight. So today, let's talk about macular degeneration and the prevention of eye issues. So, Doctor, the floor is yours.
Okay, well, here in Florida, we have an asset. We have a bunch of assets, you being one of them, but one very, very large, very warm asset is called the sun. The closer you get to the equator, the more direct the sunlight is, and oddly enough, the more damage that gets done to the paint on your house, the finish on your car, your skin, and oddly enough, your eyes. Your eyes are very, very delicate. You have been blessed with two. Hopefully you still have both. But they do in fact deteriorate, they do in fact suffer the ravages of time, and they do in fact suffer the damages of the environment. So there are things that we need to do to protect your eyesight, some of which are very commonsensical, some of which involve changes in your lifestyle, and some of which involve changes in what you wear. So let's start with the easy things. Here in Florida, you cannot buy a pair of sunglasses that do not have that UV 400 label on them. Why is that? Because in order to protect your eyesight, that is what it's going to take. So those of you that are new to the area, those of you that came down, and especially those of you that are really, really cheap, you need to understand that the sunglasses that you brought with you from outside the state of Florida are probably useless. Give them to somebody. Take them out. The Lions Club or whoever is delighted to have these things because they take them out and give them to people who need something. But you need to buy good eyeglasses. You need to buy good sunglasses, and they have to be UV 400 because the ultraviolet light facilitates the development of something called cataracts. Okay, so here you are, the state of Florida. You're out there driving. You think the tinting in your car is enough. It is not. There's plenty of reflected light that can cause damage to your eyesight, damage to your lens in the eyes. This is what happens. So you have to wear those sunglasses when you drive. Very, very important. A rimmed hat, very important. But those sunglasses involves a change in your habit. So what else? So these cataracts, they form. As you get older, they happen. They happen in your dogs, your cats. They can't wear sunglasses very easily. So you'll see cataracts in animals at the age of 10, 12, 14 years of age. Does not take long for these things to develop. If you have diabetes, cataracts form more rapidly because the elevations in blood sugar, so we need to work on bringing that down. It is doable. There are ways to get it done without insulin. There are ways to do it that really are very basic. I'm not sure why the medical community hasn't caught on, but they haven't just yet. But in the meantime, what can you do? You can't push a rope, can't get your doctor to do something they don't know what to do, but this is something that you can do. And the medication is an amino acid, a common amino acid called taurine. Taurine, Taurine. You take taurine, and it will facilitate let's say, the resolution of cataracts. It reverses it. The Chinese and the Indians actually did the basic research on taurine to treat cataracts. Why did they do this? Because these are very poor countries, after all. They can't go ahead and take them out and put intraocular lenses as we do in this country. So taurine is wickedly important for the prevention and treatment of cataract disease. How much does it typically take? 500 to 600 milligrams of taurine, 3, maybe 4 times a day. If you take less, it's better than none. Taurine is an interesting amino acid. Anything that you take that is in excess of what your body needs, it burns. And how does it work? It turns it into energy, and guess what? It's something that you would need anyway. More so, what does taurine do? Taurine is one of the main ingredients in that little beverage that a lot of people like to consume called Red Bull. So it gives you a bump of energy. And it does it without damaging your blood sugar. It does it without damaging your stomach. And it does it, oddly enough, without making you hyper, let's say. You just have to be careful with taurine not to take it too late at night. Does it work? Yes. Is it cheap? About $10 a month in my office. We keep pharmaceutical strength, taurine. We roll that stuff out by the caseload at $10, $11 a month. It's just something you should be doing. Well, what else is bothering you? You're going to sit back and go, well, maybe I have cataracts, maybe I don't, so on and so forth. If you don't, now's the best time to prevent them. If you do, it's not going to hurt you to take the taurine and keep them from getting much worse. But there's another problem. Okay, it's called macular degeneration.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you have wet macular degeneration, you have dry macular degeneration, but either diagnosis really stinks. Okay, so you're told that you have let's say a time clock going on your eyesight. How long is it going to take before I'm blind? That's the word. Okay, it's not. It's just a matter of time. So what do? They give you lutein and lycopene. Brilliant. Okay, how much does it take to get the job done? It takes a heck of a lot more than in that OTC product that most people are taking, even though it's about $50 a month. Okay, now lutein and lycopene are important, but more important is N-acetylcysteine, or NAC, and something called alpha-lipoic acid. So when you're taking medications, when you're taking treatment for macular degeneration, which happily in this country at this time is not something that requires a prescription. It's over the counter. Other countries, you need a prescription for this. But we cobbled together a compound that we call MacuShield. Okay, unfortunately, it's taken about 6 months to get everything past quarantine, which is another way of saying that the manufacturers would not, it's a mutual effort, okay? Everything has to pass purity, okay? If it doesn't, the whole process goes down. It's taken us 6 months to get everything together in such a manner to make me happy. I'm not the world's easiest person to make happy. This has been 6 months. We're expecting delivery, oddly enough. Oh, they said the first week in January. They didn't tell us what year. Okay, now we should have it by the first week in February. This stuff is awesome. Okay, it's not terribly expensive. It's about $40 a month. It delivers about 5 to 10 times what the regular product that most people are familiar with for macular degeneration, which is a Bausch & Lomb product. It's not bad. It's a good start, but it's not particularly good value, and it's really not effective. This one, instead of taking one little tablet daily, this one you actually have to take 6, because that's what it's going to take to get the job done. It doesn't do any good to take something that's inadequate in too low a dosage, even though it sounds like it's convenient, because you can't pound that much matter into one tablet. That's just the way these things go. It's something called dose relationship or dose response. In order for anything to work, you have to take enough of it. Okay? In the industry, when you put just a little something in there for space purposes or to keep it cheap, they call it a sprinkle. So you look at the ingredients list as if you know what you're looking at. Okay? And you see this long list of multisyllabic names. Okay? And then at the end of it, there'll be a number. Okay, and those of you that think you know what you're looking at will look at the recommended daily allowance, which is a joke. Okay, well, it sounds like it's right because it's 100% of the RDA. The RDA is fiction. Okay, it means absolutely nothing and never did. It was just simply a means to make people happy. Okay, guess what? Hope you're happy. Okay, and then you move on from there. But in order to get an adequate amount of alpha-lipoic acid at NAC, that takes a certain volume. In order to get enough of the lutein and lycopene, it's going to take a certain volume, okay? And the MacuShield product happens to be a particularly good one, and for as much aggravation as it's taken to put this thing together, my advice to you is when it comes in, get a 6-month supply, okay? Because it's probably going to take that long to replace this one once again, because it was a whole lot more trouble than, just about anything else I've ever had to put together. This is the second time I've done this product. Okay, the first time, it took us 2 or 3 months. Which is about right, because it takes time to get your label approved by the government. You have to go through and get everything assayed and so on and so forth. But this has taken far longer than that, and it's usually because of 1 or 2 of the compounds in there did not meet specifications. Now, if you read the newspaper and look up GNC, New York Attorney General, the litigation, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Right.
Okay, there was a big scandal. And in fact, there's always a big scandal looking at these issues and quality. Okay, if you don't care to assay it, it doesn't matter. If it's done by a pharmaceutical plant, that's a real pharmaceutical company, it has to go according to FDA guidelines. This process is time-consuming, can be expensive. Okay, need not be, but sometimes it is. But if you're going to go cheap, you go to the big box stores. So in any event, what was it Forrest Gump said? That's all I got to say.
About that. And a box of chocolates, too. Here comes Robin.
All right, you can get in touch with Stages of Life at 407-679-3337. Our website is stagesoflife.net. Office hours Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5. Health stores open during those office hours, but you can always purchase your nutraceuticals any time of day or night through our website, through our